SBR Videos is sponsored by Sports Cash System. Click on the link below for more information. We are previewing Week 3 in college football here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak, and we are talking right now with Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. Steve is a professional handicapper who only does college football. He's been a regular guest of ours for quite some time now. He's got a great record at his paid service long-term and a great record in our videos. Last week he covered one game. It was a winner. Thanks so much for joining us again this week, Steve.
Thank you for having me back, Peter.
All right, thanks for the winner last week. And before we get into the two games we're going to cover this week, tell us a little bit about collegefootballwinning.com.
Well, at collegefootballwinning.com, all we do is analyze college football betting data. So we just do college football 365 days out of the year. I believe we are the only service that offers a 100% money-back guarantee on the entire season. So if you don't go above 52.38% against the spread, the break-even point, if you do not profit with our picks, then it's your option to select this as a membership. You can get 100% of the money you paid our service back. I don't think any other service does that. For SBR viewers, we are offering a coupon code that would give them 20% off of any membership that we're offering. The code is SBR20. That's SBR20.
Okay, that sounds great. Thanks so much, Steve. Appreciate it, and viewers should definitely take advantage of that. Listening to you analyze college football games, it's obvious why. All right, Marshall at Ohio. It's the first game we're going to talk about. Ohio's an 8.5-point home underdog, total 69. Now, this is supposed to be an up year for Ohio. It's true they've had two lackluster games. They only beat North Texas by 6. They were supposed to be good this year. They do have a lot of the ingredients back to have a great year. Why should they be getting 8.5 at home here? I'm not exactly sure. Marshall, yes, we know all about them. They have a huge, high-powered offense. They're going to put up points. Are they that much better than Ohio? They also have Virginia Tech coming up next week. That's going to be a big game. So it might be a little bit of a look-ahead spot for them. I'm thinking Ohio plus 8.5 has some value.
I certainly understand why you would say that. And after you listen to this analysis, we'll see if your position is the same or if it changes.
Okay.
Marshall is not a particularly good against the spread team in away games. However, this game, I don't know if people who are geographically challenged may not realize this, but Marshall in West Virginia is only 80 miles away from Athens, Ohio, where this game is being played. So it is not like they're changing time zones and they're going, across the country. 80 miles away, not that much of an away game. Okay, that said, Marshall has the more experienced offensive line, considerably. They're in terms of FBS ranking, they entered the season in the top 20 in terms of returning starts for that offensive line. Compare that to Ohio. Their offensive line is right around the 75th most experienced, and they're even having some offensive line injury issues right now, so that should be a serious concern for Ohio. Now, both teams want to run the ball first. So defensive line play is going to be critical. 3 out of the 4 Marshall defensive linemen are returning starters, and 3 out of 4 are seniors. Now, on the other side of the ledger, Ohio State's defensive line only returns 1 starter from last year. Ohio is 1-6 against the spread over the last 3 years when opposing teams have managed to run more than 80 plays or more. And Marshall, as you already said, these guys are up-tempo. These guys are super powerful. They're already average offensively. They're already averaging 84 plays per game, and they haven't necessarily put their pedal to the metal yet in a real test. So that does not bode well for Ohio. Ohio is 0-5 against the spread this year and last year when they're allowing quarterbacks to pass for 7 yards or more per pass attempt. So far, junior quarterback from Marshall, Rakeem Cato, his career average is 7.1 yards per passing attempt, and he's 7.9 yards per attempt in 2013. He's a junior. He's only gotten better. So once again, doesn't look good for Ohio. Last year, this game between these two rivals at Marshall, the final score is Ohio 27, Marshall 24, but don't be fooled by the final score. Marshall outgained Ohio by 92 yards and 1.05 yards per play. In fact, they were tied 24 all with 5 minutes left to play in the game. Marshall turned the ball over twice after driving down the field and putting themselves in scoring position. So that really almost looks like an anomaly that Ohio won last year. And Ohio, I believe, had a better team last year than they do this year. This line, as you pointed out, this betting line is noticeably off. Ohio, you could make the argument they could be favored in this game, maybe should be favored by 3 points if you just go by sort of some standard metrics. So we here believe at collegefootballwinning.com that this is sort of an odds maker's trap because they believe that Marshall is the right side here, which is why this line started off at ridiculously off, maybe even as much as 10 points off where it should be, and it's only climbed higher. So Marshall, it's only looking like the odds makers are just asking you to bet on Ohio. So we believe that looks like a trap right now. So we're thinking Marshall is the right side here. Our only couple of notes of concern, Marshall, as we said, very bad against the spread away team. They're 1-11-1 against the spread as away favorites the last 10 years. And Ohio under Frank Solich, they're 8-4 against the spread as home dogs. But as I said last week, we're so early in the season, we don't give super strong plays early in the year because we wait for more current season performance data. But right now, we are leaning to Marshall.
Wow. Interesting line, interesting analysis, Steve. Yeah, the line does seem way off, and if the odds makers are setting a trap, I definitely jumped right into this one. I didn't bet it, but that's the way I would be leaning. Certainly not going to bet it now. Thanks so much, Steve from collegefootballwinning.com, leaning towards Marshall -8.5 at Ohio. Thanks.
Thank you, Peter.